Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.
Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Tuesday, the 4th of June. Nipah virus resurfaces in India's Kerala after killing 17 last year. Afghan president announces prisoner release to mark Eid. And Sri Lankan Muslim ministers resign as bombing backlash intensifies. And now for all the details. A year after the Nipah virus killed at least 17 people, the deadly brain-damaging virus has resurfaced in India's southern Kerala province, officials said on Tuesday. The provincial health minister said around 80 people were being monitored and isolation wards have also been set up across the province.
The deadly brain-damaging Nipah virus has resurfaced in India's southern Kerala province a year after it killed 17 people, officials said on Tuesday. A 23-year-old student was tested positive for the virus, which is transmitted to humans through direct contact with infected bats, pigs or other people. Kerala Health Minister K.K. Shailaja said that 4 other people had Nipah-like symptoms. Another 80 people were being monitored, including some who were in close contact with the student. Isolation wards have also been set up across the province, where 19 cases were reported last year.
ഇപ്പോൾ അഡ്മിറ്റ് ചെയ്യപ്പെട്ടിട്ടുള്ള പേഷ്യൻറ്റിൻ്റെ കോൺടാക്ട് ലിസ്റ്റ് നമ്മൾ ട്രേസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ട്. 86 പേരുടെ ഒരു ലിസ്റ്റ് ഇന്നലെ കൊണ്ട് തയ്യാറാക്കിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. അവരെല്ലാവരും ആരോഗ്യവകുപ്പിൻ്റെ നിരീക്ഷണത്തിലാണ്. അപ്പോൾ അതിനനുസരിച്ചാണ് കാര്യങ്ങൾ മുന്നോട്ട് പോവുക. ആ കൂട്ടത്തിൽ 2 പേർക്ക് പനി ഉള്ളതായി കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്. അതിലൊരാളെ ഐസൊലേഷൻ വാർഡിൽ നമ്മൾ കളമശ്ശേരി മെഡിക്കൽ കോളേജിൽ ഐസൊലേഷൻ വാർഡുകൾ ക്രമീകരിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്.
There is no vaccine for the Nipah virus, which can cause encephalitis or inflammation of the brain, according to the World Health Organization. It recommends treatment through supportive care. Last year in Kerala, visiting national health officials tied the initial deaths to bats in a well from which the victims drew water.
In news from Pakistan, Pakistanis have been feeling the pinch amid spiraling inflation in the country. Soaring prices of most commodities have left lower and middle-class customers in despair as inflation has reached its highest in more than 5 years and people fear the worst for the future.
Pakistanis have been feeling the pinch amid spiraling inflation in the country. Inflation has reached its highest in more than 5 years in Pakistan as it is facing widening fiscal and current account deficits. Soaring prices of most commodities have left many lower and middle-class customers in despair. Residents across the country say the economic crisis has shattered their faith in a government elected last year on a pledge to eradicate poverty and create jobs.
मैं इतना ही कहना चाहूँगा कि यार चलें, मिडिल क्लास तो कुछ ना कुछ कर ही लेगी, मगर जो मज़दूर तबका है उसके लिए बहुत बुरा हाल है, जिसकी 300 रुपये या 350 रुपये दिहाड़ी है. तो मेरे ख्याल से अपने बच्चों को जो फल फ्रूट है ना, वो जैसे ज़ू में जानवर दिखाते हैं ना, वैसे दिखाता है. सही है ना. और मुझे नहीं लगता कि यार कुछ बेहतरी आएगी. तब्दीली किधर गई किधर नहीं गई वो कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रही.
एज अ नेशन अगर ऊपर आना है, सोल्यूशन कोई दूसरा नहीं है सिवाय इसके कि आपको अपनी करेंसी को स्ट्रॉन्ग करना पड़ेगा, अपने मुल्क के प्रोडक्ट्स को यूज़ करना पड़ेगा. हम चाहते हैं गवर्नमेंट भी फैसिलिटेट करे, ट्रेडर्स को फैसिलिटेट करे. ठीक है ना. जो भी हमें फैसिलिटेशन चाहिए वो गवर्नमेंट हमें प्रोवाइड करे, क्योंकि ये एक आजमाइश का दौर है. हम गवर्नमेंट के साथ खड़े हैं, लेकिन साथ साथ गवर्नमेंट को भी चाहिए कि वो ट्रेडर्स को थोड़ा सा रिलीफ दे.
On May 6, the Pakistani government also increased fuel prices by up to 6.45%, bringing pain to skilled workers and labourers. Since most goods in Pakistan are still transported via road, consumers fear that the increase in petrol and diesel prices will result in even greater price hikes.
US Special Envoy Zalmay Khalilzad on Monday said that he had discussed with top Pakistani leadership what Washington expects from Islamabad to advance the Afghan peace process. Khalilzad is on a 16-day multi-nation trip that will also take him to Doha for another round of peace negotiations with the Taliban.
US Special Envoy Zalmay Khalilzad said on Monday he had discussed with Pakistani civilian and military officials what the US expects them to do to advance the Afghan peace process. Khalilzad visited Islamabad on Sunday at the beginning of his 16-day multinational trip that will also take him to Doha for another round of peace negotiations with the Taliban. He reiterated the US wants Pakistan to play a greater role in persuading the Taliban to conclude a peace deal. The Afghan-born US diplomat has held 6 rounds of direct talks with Taliban representatives in Doha since the peace process began last year. The US-Taliban talks have so far focused on a timetable for US troop withdrawal from Afghanistan as well as Taliban assurances that they won't allow Afghanistan to be used as a staging ground for global terror attacks.
Afghanistan's President Ashraf Ghani on Tuesday pardoned and announced the release of over 887 prisoners as Muslims celebrated Eid across the war-torn country. Addressing the nation, Ghani said he will visit Pakistan at the end of June to improve ties with the neighbouring country.
Afghan President Ashraf Ghani pardoned and announced the release of over 887 inmates in the war-torn country on Tuesday as Muslims celebrated Eid al-Fitr. Ghani wished everyone a happy Eid and said he appreciates the Afghan forces' bravery and efforts who are on the front lines to ensure the safety of the people. Addressing the nation, Ghani said he will visit Pakistan at the end of June to improve ties between the two neighbouring countries. Afghanistan has previously accused Pakistan of turning a blind eye to Afghan Taliban commanders on its soil and even of supporting the militant group it is fighting, which Islamabad denies.
نن د افغانستان ولس د خبرې چې 808 بندیان خلاصيږي د اختر په احترام باندې او د ولس.
Meanwhile, at a park in Afghan capital Kabul, people enjoyed the festivities, dancing and merrymaking. War-ravaged Afghanistan has recently been hit by 3 blasts that left many hospitalized. Many people enjoying the festival hoped for peace in their country.
In news from Sri Lanka, all senior Muslim ministers in Sri Lanka quit their portfolios on Monday in solidarity with the industry minister accused by the opposition of supporting Islamist militants who killed more than 250 people on Easter Sunday. The Muslim political leaders urged the government to expedite probe into the allegations.
Eight Muslim government officials in Sri Lanka quit their portfolios on Monday in solidarity with the industry minister Rishad Batiuddin, accused by the opposition of supporting Islamist militants who killed more than 250 people on Easter Sunday. Powerful Buddhist monks including Galagoda Atte Nyanasara, head of the hardline Bodhubala Sena or Buddhist Power Force, led protests on Monday in the city of Kandy, demanding the resignation of Batiuddin and 2 Muslim governors. The 3 Muslim ministers and 5 junior ministers on Monday only resigned from their portfolios, not from the government or their parties. So there was no immediate risk to Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe's parliamentary coalition.
As members of the Muslim community represented in the government, holding variety of positions as cabinet ministers, state ministers and deputy ministers, have taken a decision today to resign from all the positions and request the government to expedite any inquiry against anyone among us and bring it to a conclusion without delay. We expect that to happen within a month so that we will be vindicated from these allegations.
The resignations undercut a planned no-confidence motion led by supporters of nationalist former President Mahinda Rajapaksa against Batiuddin, who also resigned from the ministry on Monday, making the motion unviable.
Around 18 differently abled couples tied the nuptial knot during a mass wedding ceremony organized recently in India's western Vadodara city. Scores of relatives and friends of the couples also attended the wedding event.
As many as 18 differently abled couples tied a nuptial knot at a mass wedding ceremony held recently in India's western Vadodara city. The grooms rode in chariots and led the procession to the venue of the wedding ceremony. The ceremony was organized with an aim to empower the specially abled people and provide them with a platform to get married with full Hindu rituals.
यहाँ पे 18 लड़के 18 लड़कियाँ 36 लोगों के थे ये लोग हैं।
हम उसका बहुत धन्यवाद करते हैं कि जो हमारे इस विकलांग को हम इतना सहकार और साथ दिया है। हम उसका आभार मानते हैं कि हमारे लिए इतना कुछ बड़ा प्रोग्राम किया है हमारे लिए।
The brides and the grooms were presented with gifts consisting of household items. Mass weddings are increasingly becoming popular, especially among the economically weaker sections of the Indian society, as they reduce worries of monetary implications among parents.
Exiled Tibetan spiritual leader Dalai Lama on Monday held a teaching session where he imparted spiritual lessons to his followers in India's northern hill town of Dharamshala. Over 5,000 people participated in the one-day session organized especially for the Tibetan youth.
Exiled Tibetan spiritual leader Dalai Lama held a teaching session on Monday in India's northern hill town of Dharamshala, where he imparted spiritual lessons to followers. Over 5,000 people, including monks, foreigners and students, participated in the one-day teaching session organized specially for the Tibetan youth. A disciple said such sessions were important as it helped the young generation learn about Buddhism.
Teaching that we are getting from him was mostly about the manner and the conservative that we have to get in our daily life and to become a much better part of a human being.
Very important because many of the younger generations which are born and brought up here, so to know about our Buddhism, so this is I think it's very important for us to know about our Buddhism.
Dalai Lama has lived in India since fleeing a failed uprising against Chinese rule of his homeland in 1959. A government of exiled Tibetans and tens of thousands of refugees are also based in Dharamshala in India's northern Himachal Pradesh province.
A 4-day annual cultural festival kicked off in India's northern hill town of Shimla on Monday. The event is aimed at attracting tourists towards the hill town and expose them to the local food, art and culture.
The 4-day annual International Summer Festival in India's hill town of Shimla began on Monday with various gala events showcasing culture, folk music and dance of the hill station. The first day of the festival featured over 600 local women who performed folk dance themed on Save Girl Child. The event witnessed the participation of locals, tourists and foreign nationals.
हम अपने आप को गौरव महसूस करें कि हम आज इस हिमाचल में शिमला में ये अपना प्रोग्राम दे रहे हैं, प्रस्तुत कर रहे हैं, जो हमें अपने ऊपर गौरव है सर। क्या संदेश है सर? ये है कि जैसे कि बाहर से टूरिस्ट आए हैं, हम उनके लिए भी ये कि हमारा हिमाचल कितना प्रोग्रेस कर रहा है और कितना क्या कल्चर है। और दूसरा ये कि सर हम बेटियों तक आगे ये है कि मतलब ये संदेश दे रहे हैं कि बेटियां कितनी हमारे जीवन में कितना महत्व है।
The Shimla Summer Festival has been organized annually since 1960s to attract the tourists towards the hill town and expose them to the traditional heritage of the region. The event also provides a platform to young local artists to exhibit their talent before the national and international audiences.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Nipah virus resurfaces in India's Kerala after killing 17 last year. Afghan president announces prisoner release to mark Eid. And Sri Lankan Muslim ministers resign as bombing backlash intensifies. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.